Hey friends, today in our fractions lesson we are going to recognize that equal shares of identical wholes need not have the same shape. So what that means is that we're going to be comparing, so looking at the similarities and differences of two separate whole objects, but they're going to be identical, so they're going to be the same. And I'm going to show you how we can partition them into halves, thirds, or fourths, and even though they don't look the same, they're still going to represent the same amount. So I'm going to partition these two rectangles, equal wholes, in two different ways. So let's partition this into, let's do the halves first. Let's partition this into halves. So there are there are a few ways we can partition into equal halves. We could go like that. We could go like that. And even though they look different, they represent the same amount. So let me change one of those. What if we did that? They would still be halves because we have two pieces in our whole, and those two pieces are equal. They're the same amount. Even though this one looks like a triangle, this one looks like a rectangle, they still represent the same amount because the whole rectangles are the same shape. Now, what would not be the same is if we did this. So let's say that here is rectangle 1, and I partition it into halves this way. Well, and here's little bitty rectangle 2, and I partition it like that. It's a different idea. These are not the same amount because the whole are very different sizes, okay? So what I want you all to remember is that the pieces, the whole pieces, have to be identical. They have to be the same size. So once they're the same size, you can partition them in different ways, and they're going to represent the same amount, even though they don't look the same. This is 1/2, and this is 1/2. This is 1/2, and this is 1/2. Okay. Let's look at this one. We're going to partition these rectangles into two different ways. Let's use fourths this time. So for fourths, we can do partition into 4 equal pieces. That's the size of each piece. I'm going to go down and across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And then for this whole over here, I'm going to partition into fourths, but I'm going to go like this. So in both cases, the size of each piece is 1/4, 1/4, so the size of the pieces in this whole are fourths, and the size of each piece, they're all 1/4 here. But the difference, the only difference is how we partitioned. They still represent the same amount because the wholes are identical. These are the same. Our blue wholes are the same. So there's the idea. We can partition two equal wholes in different ways. I can partition this one another way if I wanted to. I could do, let's see. It goes this way. So there's another way to represent fourths. We could go, let's see, we could do this. Those are fourths. we can partition a lot of different ways. So just wanted to show you all that, and we'll be practicing in class, and it'll be big fun.